Catholic bishops in Germany are supporting a new initiative that calls for a change in the church's teachings about gender and sexuality. The hashtag Out in Church for a Church Without Fear campaign launched yesterday and gave a list of 7 demands, including that, quote, defamatory and outdated statements of church doctrine on sexuality and gender need to be revised. And joining me now is ACVimer, editor-in-chief of CNA Deutsch. AC, so great to see you. As I understand, a group of 125 Catholic employees in Germany say they're part of the so-called LGBT community. What more can you tell us about that and some activities that took place yesterday?
Sure, Tracy. Thanks for bringing me onto the program. Yes, so there's 125 roughly people that have outed themselves as being a part of the LGBT community in a number of different roles. These are Catholic priests, employees of the church, teachers of religious studies at state schools, which in Germany do have religious lessons, including in Catholicism for Catholic students. The whole thing was part of a major campaign, a media blaze that you had all across both social media channels that were launched for the very purpose, a new website publishing a manifesto with 7 public demands, and a primetime documentary on the big German national television program ARD. All of this in a concerted effort that was accompanied by a number of public statements, including from the German Bishops' Conference and a number of bishops in open support, welcoming the initiative, which was called Out in Church.
Why are the bishops supporting a campaign that challenges Catholic teachings? What can you tell us? Why?
Yeah, so that's the central demand. Absolutely right, Tracy, you've nailed it. It's a demand to change teaching of the church. But when you look behind the scenes, it's about a lot more even than that. The Catholic Church is the second biggest employer in Germany after the state, in fact. Hospitals, schools, churches, administrative centers, all sorts of things are part of the church and are embedded in the tax system. This means that many people work in the Catholic Church, but perhaps not all of them are as committed Catholics as some others might be who don't work for the church. And this creates an interesting conundrum when you want to employ people who perhaps might consider themselves LGBTIQ or something else that does not fall in line with normal Catholic teaching about sexual morality, but they don't want to be fired either. And this was the central core of, or the central issue at play behind the scenes, number one. The second issue, of course, is the fact that there is a reform process, they call it underway in Germany, the synodal way, the synodal path, not to be confused with the synodal, synodality. And this process is very much intertwined with the demands of the LGBTIQ agenda put forward yesterday, and that is also being supported in public by the German Bishops' Conference, in particular by the bishop responsible for the forum on sexuality in the synodal process, Bishop Helmut Dieser of Aachen.
And AC, I wonder if you can quickly tell us what has been the reaction among the faithful to this campaign?
Well, I can tell you that the Facebook comments, in particular on the CNA Deutsch, the German edition of the Catholic News Agency, and on blog posts and social media, what you hear around the traps, have been nothing short of scathing. A number of bishops who might not be in line with the demands made for a change to the church's teaching so far have been very reluctant to come forward and make public pronouncements, but I expect this to happen in the next coming days and weeks. There is no shortage of negative comments, but there's also no shortage of public support in Germany, in particular by the state media and other players, political players, for instance, for this push and for the LGBTIQ initiative Out in Church.
And AC, we're running out of time, but quickly wondering what else you are following in Germany and what else you would like our audience to know.
The ongoing abuse investigations being published by German dioceses and involving both Cardinal Reinhard Marx and his predecessors, in particular a rather famous one, Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI, are looming large in the public conscience and part of our ongoing coverage from here that you can find out about, of course, on CNA, both in English and in CNA Deutsch in German and across our agencies.
Well, AC, thank you as always for your time and your analysis. Always appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.